Welcome to our pricing page. My name is Peter McKenzie. I am the owner and broker of Rincon Property Management. And as you navigate our pricing page, I want to give you better insight into how property management companies price for their services. So a management fee at one company may not necessarily pay for the same things that a management fee at another company. The basic principle to keep in mind is this. When you hire a management company, you're paying for two things. One is the expertise of the company, so you don't make the mistakes that maybe they've made over the years. So you're paying for that expertise. And then two is just the execution of tasks related to property management. So renting the house, collecting the rent, doing inspections, fixing problems when they arise, doing the monthly accounting. Those are just tasks that by themselves are relatively simple, but when you combine them and put them in chronological order, it can get complex quickly. So the way that companies handle those tasks is what you are interested in. So you're interested in a company that does a great job, communicates well, rents the properties quickly at the highest rent. The way that the company executes those things is by hiring people or software to do those things. If you have a company that charges cheap fees and competes on price alone, they are not going to have the resources required to do all of those tasks really well. So that's the underlying principle. You want the company to charge fees adequate enough so they can fund those activities, which then in turn gives you, the consumer, a good product that you can feel good about. The other principle to keep in mind is cheap fees almost always equals cheap service. So if the company's not funded well, they are going to cut corners. Things are gonna fall off the plate. Every one of those management tasks is important, but there are some that are more important than others, but the ones that aren't as important, if you don't have the money or the time or the resources to do them, I can tell you the companies just let them fall right off the plate. How do you know that? How do you as the consumer know how to determine that? There's a couple of things and tips you can do. The first thing I would do is go to their social media profiles. Go to Google, go to Yelp, go to Facebook. See what people are saying about them. Are they leaving good reviews? Are they leaving horrible reviews? The overwhelming majority of those reviews is going to be very similar to the experience you have yourself. There's always a few outliers on either side. But if, one thing management companies love to say is, oh, don't worry about the negative reviews. Those are all tenants. They don't like what we're doing. They don't like us telling them to pay the rent or not damage the property. And the argument I would make to you is a happy tenant takes better care of the property and stays longer, which is in the owner's best interest. So if all of the tenants are upset, that's a red flag that they are not managing the property well and dealing with tenant relations, which is a big part of property management. I want to go over one of our fees that we charge, which is our leasing fee. This is a fee that honestly some of my competitors do not charge, and it shows in this type of service that they deliver. So if you contact my company about a property that you're looking to rent, you are immediately contacted back. You will hear from us within minutes. Email, text message, we'll call you if we don't get a hold of you. We follow up aggressively on people who are interested in renting our properties. That allows us to cherry pick the best applicants, which turns into the best tenants for your property, because everybody knows that a nightmare tenant can absolutely destroy your property, kill your financials, and cause you a lot of headaches. In fact, if you go on our YouTube page, we made a video about the worst case scenario, and it was unfortunately what a person, a gentleman who owned a property went through. He's not one of our clients. That probably wouldn't have happened if it was, but go there and check that out. You could see the worst case scenario. The leasing fee. So the leasing fee covers everything related to finding and moving in a tenant. There is a real art to finding a good tenant, and a lot of it has to do with follow-up, high standards for what's required to live in the property. We advertise those standards. We aggressively follow up, and we encourage people to show the property, to go look at the property. There's a certain amount of salesmanship that goes into finding tenants. If you just don't touch that process and you just let it play out on its own, you will lose. And here's how losing looks when it comes to this. It takes you longer to rent the properties. So on average, we're renting properties in 21 days. The industry standard in our area is probably closer to 30. So there's a real value of those extra 9 days of rent that has a real concrete dollar amount attached to that can go to offset the cost of that leasing fee. So that leasing fee covers those things. Now I have a full-time dedicated staff person that deals with showing the properties and following up. That's how we're able to fill the properties that quickly. Now, the other question we get related to pricing is what's the difference between full service and premium service? There are some little differences. One, in our leasing fee in the premium service is 20%, full service is 40%. There's no maintenance coordination fee in our premium service. There is in our full service. A couple other little ancillary fees. So the idea on the premium is you pay a higher management fee. We wrap up a lot of those fees into that higher management fee. But the real difference is the insurance product that comes along with our premium service. So every landlord's fear is the tenant's not going to pay the rent, the tenant's going to destroy the home, and then they're going to move out in the middle of the night, and the landlord's going to have no recourse and nothing they can do about it. I am here to tell you that that happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but it absolutely happens. Now, if you work with a professional company, we mitigate a lot of that risk for you through our policies and best practices and procedures. But if that is the fear, if that makes it so you can't sleep at night because you're worried about that, or if that's the difference between you renting your house versus selling it, in our premium service, we have an insurance product. It's called SureVestor. I welcome you to look it up. It's backed by Lloyd's of London. It's an actual insurance company, and they cover malicious tenant damage, eviction costs related to eviction, lost rent related to evictions, and tenants breaking their leases. So that is the real difference between premium and full. You have that peace of mind that allows you to sleep at night in our premium service. I hope that helps. I hope that gives you a little better insight into how pricing works. If you want any more information on any of this, please reach out to us. I can talk about this stuff for hours, and we are definitely here to help you navigate what all your options are, what the different companies are, managing the property on your own versus hiring a company. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to consider. And we are happy that you're here looking at our operation and what we provide. Hope you're having a good day.